Nottingham Hill sponsors IFL TV.
I'm the man to beat Daniel Dubois. You're going to sleep.
Oscar BEVIS for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. I'm here at West Ham Boxing Club.
Yep.
And I'm joined by Viddal Riley, who makes his IFL TV debut, his official IFL TV debut.
It's official. I'm excited. I'm finally here. You guys have waited me.
How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm just, focusing on loads of other things right now. Clothing, my YouTube channel, all that stuff. The fight's out the way, most recent fight. So, yeah, whilst I'm at account, just focusing on all the other things that I do.
We'll come on to that sort of whole different world of yours later. I just want to start by talking about, it was 3rd of May, your last fight in Dubai. I mean, just sum up that whole experience, of course, going out in Dubai, headlining your own show. I mean, headlining a show when you've only had, 2 professional rounds of boxing?
Yeah.
2 first-round knockouts, yeah.
Yeah, man, that was crazy. It's not often someone gets their main event, a fight that early in their career. Obviously, being in the Middle East, boxing isn't as developed as it is in the UK or US, and that leaves room for new opportunities, such as a 2-fight novice being able to main event a show. It was streamed worldwide, pay-per-view, and all of this just sounds a bit crazy for someone at the stage of my career that I'm at, but it's happening. It's a reality, so yeah, I'm enjoying it.
It was on a Badou Jack Promotions card, so are you sort of fighting under the Badou Jack Promotions banner now? Or?
I'm not signed with Badou Jack Promotions, but Badou and I share the same manager, so when there's opportunities that pop up through his promotions, I'm sure I'll be highly recommended to be on the show. Yeah.
What sort of relationship do you have with Badou Jack? Do you know him well? Or?
Yeah, he's like a older uncle, father, brother figure to me. When I first went out to Vegas last year, I spent nearly every day with him and my manager. So we developed a good relationship at that time. We'll go around the house, we'll chill, we watch boxing. When he sees me in the gym, he'll give me advice on things I can improve on. So I'm fortunate enough to be in world championship level boxing company on a daily basis, so yeah, Badou definitely comes across as a mentor to me. Yeah.
Gonna get this one in early. Have you been contacted by any promoters?
We've had a few.
Any names? Any name drops?
We can't name drop. We can't name. You know how that is. You can't name drop. But we've had a few. But you know what? When it's the right opportunity in the right time, I'm sure we'll grab it. But can't make any hasty decisions. You know how boxing can be unforgiving.
Definitely. I just want to take it right back. When did you first lace up a pair of gloves?
Oh, I first put gloves on when I was 2, but then I went to the gym at 6. So 6 was when I first started going to the gym.
You told me you grew up around Tottenham area, so what gym did you...
Yeah, well, I actually was born in Hackney. I lived in Hackney until I was 8. So at the time, I started off at Repton, which was pretty much my local gym. Then I moved to Newham Boxing Club for a couple years, and then since 12 years old, I've boxed for West Ham. So nearly 10 years now. I've been affiliated and boxed and competed for West Ham Boxing Club. So yeah, that's just me now. This is where I am.
What was it that drew you to boxing? Was sort of anyone in the family or?
My dad used to box. He never reached a high level, but he was an amateur boxer on and off for a long time, and is in love with the sport. He definitely loves the sport more than me. But through his love of the sport, obviously when his son came along, he was like, try it out. And he just said, you know what, you got a natural talent for it. And he hasn't been wrong so far. I've managed to achieve quite a lot as an amateur, and now I'm going into professional ranks. Hope to do the same thing. So yeah.
So you must have been quite an influence on you. Did you have any sort of other influences or big names in boxing that you looked up to and thought, that's what I want, that's what I want to be like?
I feel like, Ray Jones is my favourite boxer of all time. without a doubt. I went through a phase where I was a big James Toney fan as well growing up. I used to watch James Toney a lot. I feel like he's very underrated as a fighter. He was, one of my inspirations. And funny enough, even David Haye, I feel like, I'm only 21. So when David Haye was at his heights, you can imagine, I was like 14 years old, 14, 15. So at that time, I really liked David Haye's style as well. So many people don't, but yeah, I'm a fan.
You find a lot of London-based boys saying David Haye, especially ones around.
You know what? David Haye gets a lot of stick, but for my age, if you're my age, when he was like, fighting Enzo Maccarinelli and like proper like John Mark Mormont, people like that, he was the man. So I definitely looked up to David Haye, and I always thought I'd be a cruiserweight, and I am, and he was a cruiserweight, so it was kind of like, okay, this is my match, like for like that thing. Yeah.
People might look at you and perhaps write you off because they know of you, the YouTube side and the completely different side to you, but you actually had quite a successful amateur career.
Yeah, as an
it's not just sort of gone into boxing and here I am.
That's the thing though. It's all it's the information you're given, isn't it? It's the information. It's what people want you to know is what you find out. But I won 8 national titles as an amateur, European silver medal, been to the World Championships, quarterfinals, more than one occasion, European quarterfinals, semi-finals on the multiple occasion, Youth Olympian as well, 3 nations, all the stuff you're used to hearing, all the traditional boxing achievements that you're used to hearing from a UK fighter who had a good amateur career. I have those credentials. I didn't win the ABAs. That's the only title as an amateur I didn't win domestically, was the senior ABAs. Apart from that, I won everything else at some stage. So yeah.
When you was in these sort of young GB teams and you were training at Repton and then West Ham, was you alongside anyone who's sort of gone on to do anything of note? I know, of course, you're still quite young, but
man, that is a crazy list. That I've been in same training camp like up on Team GB with Nathan Gorman, Daniel Dubois, Felix Cash, Danny Dignam. I've been there when Lawrence was there as well. Lawrence Okoli was there. I've run alongside AJ at certain times when he was preparing early in his career. The list goes on. It's crazy. When I see everyone as a pro now, Ted Cheeseman, used to spar Ted Cheeseman a lot. Josh Kelly, went on the same training camp to China with him and the team. So pretty much all the guys that you see in the UK now on the scene, that's at that stage where they're like 9-0, like Andy Fowler, like people like that 9-fight, 10-fight stage, or just turned over, I've probably trained alongside them at some point if they were top amateurs. Otherwise, we'd just be here forever.
You mentioned Nathan Gorman and Daniel Dubois, so I've got to ask you.
And they're fighting soon.
I've got to ask you. Can you pick one? I'll take it. Are you still friends with both? Are you still friends with both?
We're good acquaintances.
Right. So you can pick sides then. You can pick sides.
Yeah. So I've been in the ring with Daniel, sparring, and we fought in amateurs. And Daniel bangs. He does bang. But Nathan has a good boxing IQ, and he can move as well for a big guy. His movement is very underrated. It is a good fight because whoever catches who first, really. But if it's a thing where we're going not on who catches the person and boxing ability, I go with Nathan, because Nathan technically is a better boxer and he has a bit more to offer that is not the traditional side of boxing. Daniel's mastered the basics. He performs the basics excellent, as well. But Nathan's got a little bit more, that little extra. So I'm going with Nathan.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll leave that there. When we spoke the other day, because we did speak actually at the screening of I Am Duran.
Yeah.
Just first off, did you enjoy I Am Duran?
It
was good, wasn't it?
Good film.
Very good.
Honestly, I recommend it.
I think it comes out early July.
June. No, June.
Is it June? Is it early June?
June 3rd,
June. June 3rd.
It'll be out on Monday. Monday.
Yeah, so there you go. Definitely recommend it as well. It's brilliant.
Good film, very good film.
You told me then that you live over here, but when it's your training in your camp, you go to Vegas and you train in the Mayweather gym.
Yeah.
When you first went into the Mayweather gym, you sort of went in as KSI's trainer.
Yeah. as we
So,
know, the famous KSI. Yeah.
You knew he was going to come up at some point.
Yeah.
I got a whole list of questions that. No, I'm joking. Yeah, you went in as KSI's trainer. So sort of, how was you perceived by everyone in that gym?
Well, just as the trainer of a famous white collar or gamer boxer, and that was pretty much my reputation. It wasn't about me. We didn't go there for me. It wasn't for me to prove anything. I wasn't even gonna go. But when I was in the gym, Badou was there, and my manager, well now manager, Amir, was in the gym. I said, you know what, I want to spar with Badou. If KSI can spar with Badou and he ain't even been boxing like a year, surely I can spar with Badou. And they were like, nah, like he's world champion, you know, you need to just chill. So yeah, I didn't get to spar with him. But there were other fighters in the gym the next day, or was it later on that day? I think later on that day. And yeah, I don't know, I got the better of him, to say that's the humble way of speech. Got the better of him. And everyone was like, oh, okay, so you can fight. Like, okay, good for you, you know. He's not really a great opponent anyway, so doesn't really prove anything. A couple days later, in between the first day of sparring and sparring Andrew to be, I worked with Jeff Mayweather on the pads, who's now my head coach, and we just clicked immediately. So you know, I done a couple of days on the pads with him. He was like, you know what, you got something. And then Andrew to be was in the gym. He said, do you want to get 3 rounds in? I said, yeah, I can do 3 rounds. And honestly, you know, everyone that was in the gym that day who saw the spar can just say, like, I held my own in there and I didn't get outclassed how you'd expect a fighter of Andrew's level to do to an amateur at the time. So it showed my potential and where I can be in the game, in the cruiserweight division. And since then, Andrew's spoken highly of me, which I appreciate, and likewise. It was a good spar. It was very short. Obviously, it's 3 rounds. He's a pro, so...
Did you feel like you had something to prove going in there?
Yeah, of course. I feel like any boxer that gets in the ring feels like they
Did
have
it make
something
you
to prove. That's what makes us do it. Yeah.
Did it make you sort of fight differently?
It made me switch on. It made me think, you know what, I can't be lazy here or not bring my hands back or switch off. And that's what high-level opponents do to you. They make you want to tick every box. And on that day, in that spar, I ticked the boxes I needed to make the spar competitive. And that's pretty much why I'm a pro now. After that, my manager, Badou's manager, said, you know what, you got potential and we should work together. Months back and forth, whatnot. Everything made sense. So I made a decision to turn over. And Jeff said, look, if he's telling bro, I want to be his coach. Me and him clicked, he listens, and that's why he's my head trainer. So my dad alongside Jeff trained me. No.
So what's your relationship like? Was it a really good relationship, I imagine?
With Jeff or my dad? Jeff.
Jeff, I suppose you can let your dad have a good relationship.
Jeff is like, if you see us outside of the gym, even in the gym, you wouldn't assume that like he's my coach, if that makes sense. Because most of the time it's just jokes. Everything is jokes until it's fight day. Everything, even in the change room. In fact, to my last fight in the change room, he was laughing all the way up until my gloves actually went on to warm up on the pads. That's when everything goes serious. But apart from that, he just chats a ton of shit. And I do as well. So it just works. It works. Yeah, it works. It's good.
Have any of the other Mayweathers been down the gym that you spoke to? Or?
Spoken to Floyd Senior. Floyd Senior likes to give me a hard time because he trains Andrew, and I'm from the UK, so Floyd Senior likes to try to trot over to me sometimes and just, you know, give me the trash talk. But it's all good. It's all love in the gym. You know, everyone knows how he is. Most of the characters in the gym there are, you know, you learn how to deal with it, so it's all cool. Yeah.
How have they brought you on as a fighter? Just say everyone in that gym, just being around such fighters, training with Jeff, of course. How do you think they've brought you on in comparison to perhaps if you were to train and camp over here?
There's a big difference in style. The boxing over here, I feel, is more fast paced. Whereas over there, they take their time a lot more. Their feet are more like just set, and everything is kind of done from the trunk. And with the hands, defensively, it's not a lot of footwork. But I feel like my natural style, I use my feet a lot to defend. So now I'm getting the aspect of the hands and the trunk defense from Jeff. It's gonna make for perfect defense because obviously we know how Mayweather's train with their defense. We know their philosophies behind the defense, and if I can add keep the footwork that I've had from the amateurs and add it in with what they're teaching me defensively now over there, should be good. Should be alright. Should be able to stay decent looking.
Do you think the Mayweathers might see like I was going to say like a lifestyle similarity? Of course, no one's lifestyle's like Floyd Mayweather Jr. Of course.
No, he's got
sort of when you turn up in the gym with KSI and they sort of see the nice cars, the big YouTube profile, and they sort of see that there's real potential to sort of mould you in that. I'll probably get quite a lot of stick for saying this, but sort of mould you in that sort of Mayweather, sort of big profile, teach you a certain method and way of boxing, and
and in terms of the only thing Jeff's ever gonna get me to do is mold me as a boxer, not as a person. As a person, I'm good. I think someone can only mold your personality if you let them. If you're a certain way, you're a certain way. If you want to be that way, you will. And so I haven't, being around them isn't an influence for me to change into, how they may do things outside of the ring. But when it comes to in-ring advice, that's all that I really care about. What everyone does in their private life or what car they want to drive makes no difference to me, at the end of the day. But the boxing does, so that's just what I focus on, really. But, yeah.
Are you focusing on yourself now, sort of? Because we mentioned earlier about you being KSI's trainer. Is it sort of full go for your pro career?
I'm still training KSI because he may have a rematch.
Wasn't you in the gym yesterday, actually?
Yeah, it was maybe 2 days ago. Yeah, 2 days ago. I was in the gym. And just getting him ready again, boxing is one of those sports. It's very straightforward to do, but it's not simple. So you have to keep practicing the same thing over and over again. He didn't box for that long before he had his last 2 fights. So the stuff that maybe someone can do after years of boxing, you'll forget and it will kind of slip away. So we're just working on technical things again. And hopefully once his tour is done, we'll get back into training camp, start preparing for November.
How did that come about, you two working together? You were friends before, and obviously I trained
a ton of his friends. That's what it was. I trained loads of his friends. And
is that other people from the sort of YouTube circle?
YouTube community, yeah. So there's a lot of YouTubers, a lot of gamers here, a lot of people that no one on this channel will care about, but they're big in their own right. And I trained loads of them, and that's how I managed to get my social media presence anyway. So yeah, I trained a ton of the YouTube guys, and then he got called out by another YouTuber called Joe Weller to have a boxing match, and that ended up being huge. Sold out Copper Box Arena, and then he believed in my philosophies after stopping him. Then he went on to fight Logan and sold out Men Arena, and yeah, it's just been crazy. Yeah, numbers are numbers, really, and they're doing numbers, so yeah, it's crazy.
What do you think has led to this sort of rise in white collar boxing? Is it just purely the fact that it's KSI and it's Logan Paul and Joe Weller and they're big names, or do you think there's something else behind it?
I think it's a mixture of them having big names, but also when you watch their standard of boxing, it isn't terrible. It isn't what most of us are used to seeing because we watch pros that have been doing this for years and perfecting their craft. But I remember after his fight against Joe Weller, a lot of boxing critics were like, you know what? If he's only been boxing 7 months and he managed to perform like that, that is actually not that bad. So by the time he went to fight Logan, they were like, I'm actually interested to see what these guys are doing. Because they're doing public workouts. They're doing worldwide press conference tours. They're doing what elite level pros are doing. And I think everyone's like, you know what, they have no choice but to kind of just check in and see what's happening. And then when you actually gets to the fight, and you're like, oh, he's decent, and it keeps people interested. So, yeah, it's a mixture of exposure that they have, and actually the level of boxing isn't as bad as many people thought it would be.
I believe if reports would be read correctly, that this might be taken to America now for a rematch with KSI's last opponent.
To be,
I mean, that's taking it to another level, taking it over to...
Yeah, so it's like a UK pay-per-view, biggest internet event in history, and now it's going to happen in America. Nothing's confirmed, but it definitely won't be here. So, we think it'll be in the US, and if the last one was big, let's see if the rematch gets even bigger than that. Yeah.
Of course, your YouTube following, you do have a YouTube channel.
Yeah,
I believe.
YouTube channel by my name, Viddal Riley.
So that following from there, that's obviously brought a massive fan base, but sort of a new fan base to boxing.
Yeah, my fan base isn't what
the
you
boxing
expect
hardcore
a boxing fan base to be, but
perhaps what you'd get watching these videos.
Yeah. So most of the people that watch this video may have heard of me from the amateurs, maybe just hear my name before, but don't really know me, because I'm kind of floating around in a different world at this moment. But the people that are not hardcore boxing fans that are following me as they grow up may become hardcore boxing fans. If a 14-year-old is watching me now and he follows my career, I'll probably fight for a world title in 5 years, 6 years. But by the time he's 20 years old, him and his mates will be hardcore boxing fans, and they can say the reason why I got into boxing or even cared about boxing was because my childhood hero KSI was trained by this guy, and now this guy's a pro and has gone to this level. So I feel like I'm fortunate enough to have people follow my career from day one, have a following from day one. My debut on YouTube's got like over 1 million views, 2 million views. So not many people's debut gets that many views. Even the biggest fighters in the world that we know now, I doubt 1 million people watch their debut in a month. So it goes to show that it is effective.
Do you sort of feel like you're fronting this new generation of maybe potential YouTube or boxers in the future who come from a background where they've sort of got a crowd? Because before this, I had a look on your social media at the comments and what people were saying, and it seems like you've got a fan base who, like you said, aren't hardcore boxing fans. I saw someone say, because you fought on the Pacquiao-Broner undercard, right?
Yeah, I did.
I saw someone say in the comments, he'll knock Pacquiao out, thinking you were fighting Pacquiao. And I've seen people criticise your last performance where you won on points.
Yeah.
And people who know about boxing have watched it and said, look, you box well, you let your hands go, it was a comfortable points decision, but because they're not seeing a first round knockout, they're sort of saying, well, that wasn't any good.
This is it. Like, the criticism that I'm getting, I expect, because they're not extremely knowledgeable on the sport. And if I don't knock people out, they're not going to be happy. If I go points, they're not going to be happy. But then even the hardcore boxing fans are like that when you think about it. Like, even the hardcore boxing fans, they get upset when, they want to knock out and then the guy takes a points victory. It's just life. It's just people. Whether it's a 12-year-old kid or a 30-year-old man, everyone has expectations. And you're not always going to meet everyone's expectations. It's impossible. So what you can do is just focus on winning and yourself, and you will please some and you won't please others, but pretty much that's all you can do.
You've had such a different career path to your normal fight. I mean, for those who don't know, your first fight was in Mexico.
Yeah.
Second at the MGM Grand.
Yeah, and then
third in Dubai. Where next?
We're
Australia, you told me the other day.
Yeah, we're hoping for Canada, actually. Yeah, we're hoping for Canada, working on a few things. It may be in Canada. But, it's I'm doing a lot of travelling. And I don't see the negative side to that at all. If that's not traditional, then I'm happy to not be traditional, because I'm getting to travel the world and have pro fights just like the guy that fights in his leisure centre. It's the same record, same professional boxing record. I'm just getting to see the world, so I don't know why anyone would look down on it. I think it's amazing. I think it's great.
What would you say your career aspiration is? I know a few minutes ago you said you could be fighting for a world title in 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, well, that's maybe a bit. I think maybe even that's too far away, being a cruiserweight. I don't think 5-6 years is an exaggeration. But my goal is to be a world champion. My goal is to be a world champion. And my goal is to fulfill my potential across the board. Whether as a boxer, whether that's being a world champion, whether as a YouTuber that's having over 1 million subscribers, whether that's having a clothing brand and having it in stores around the nation, around the world. That's my goal. You know, I'm more than a boxer. Obviously, boxing is always a priority. When fighting and camp starts and opponents are named, that becomes lockdown zone. But outside of that, I do have a lot more to offer. So my potential as a boxer is to be the best, and if the best is world champion, which we know, then of course that's what I'm trying to do. But you know, I'm not limiting myself just to that. I've got a lot more to offer.
You're 21 years old, aren't you?
Yeah.
I mean, for anyone watching this, and I'm sure they'd agree with what I'm about to say, you're very level-headed. You've got your head screwed on, like you said. You've got the YouTube channel, the boxing, potential clothing brand. So you sort of, like you said, you want to be more than a boxer. Yeah,
you know, the aim is to provide a future for my family now and my future family that we haven't experienced before. That's the aim. So whether I do that through music, say boxing, I fall short, but then my clothing brand ends up trending and becoming huge, or my boxing career doesn't go well, but my YouTube channel grows. You know, the aim is to put your hand in as many different businesses, ventures as possible in order to create one big pot of success. And pretty much that's what I'm trying to do. So as a 21-year-old sitting here and telling you what I'm interested in and what I'm trying to do, boxing being the core of those ventures, yeah, it's no, I don't know why you wouldn't want to do what I'm doing.
Fair enough. And I'm just going to leave it with one more thing. Next fight date?
No fight date confirmed as of yet, but I definitely look to fight around September, October. I want to get 2 more in this year. Finish this year 5-0, I'll be happy. Be happy with 5-0 and hopefully get my knockout streak back.
See, I would sit here now and say, if you were, let's say, a 3-0 boxer who's fighting on the small hall circuit, I'd say whatever happens will be there. But I can't lie.
Well, I don't know if you're gonna be. You might have to do a bit of travelling. You know, I don't know if you like travelling or not. But
who doesn't? I like travelling, but
if you want to be there, you might have to go to the other side of the world.
First fighter to fight on all 7 continents.
Yeah, you know what? I might have to put that down on my list of things. I'm achieving quite a few of them, so I might just keep expanding out. But yeah, that's it, man.
Whatever happens, good luck.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on the channel.
Thank you for talking to IFL TV.
On the channel. I'm glad I'm here. Hopefully everyone enjoys the interview and like and subscribe to all my stuff, man. That's it.
And IFL TV.
And IFL TV, of course. Everyone that's here, they're ready subscribing.
Thank you very much.
Cool, man.
William Hill sponsors IFL TV.
I'm the man to beat Daniel Dubois. You're going to sleep.